Hello there, Brett Teagarden with Teagarden Audio here. I'm not a supermodel, I'm not GQ, I'm not young anymore, but I do care very much about how audio sounds. So I wanted to make a demo video of what I was talking about this morning when I posted my Tuesday tip about stereo bus compression. Not a great speaker, so bear with me. And I hate doing videos, so um, I hope this all makes sense in the end. But anyway, I've created a simple session in Studio One, which is right now my favorite DAW, digital audio workstation. And on those two channels, I put a tone generator on each. And pan them hard left and right into my stereo mix. And one side is a 1K tone and the other side is a 440 hertz tone. I wanted to be able to differentiate between the sounds of each channel. I hope it doesn't drive you crazy hearing two out of tune tones playing at the same time. But anyway, you'll get the point. I gave us a big VU meter here so we can see the effect a little bit better. I put 3 compressors on the stereo mix bus. The first being the fat channel, which is stock in PreSonus. It's their channel strip, but it allows me to select from 3 different kinds of compressors: a fat-based 1176 style, an LA2A tube compressor model, and then just the standard digital compressor plug-in. But we'll get that on another plug-in. So I'm going to select the FET here at an 8:1 ratio. I have preset these levels with the tones. I could explain all that, but I just wanted to be everything to be the same and even as it went through. So I did a little pre-work on that. Of course, I have the stock compressor in Studio One that we can check out as well. And then there is a common wave plugin, Waves plugin that is RComp from their Renaissance collection, which I really like. This compressor works really well. But there are some inherent flaws, in my opinion, when you put them on a stereo mix bus. And the reason being is they are by default stereo linked, meaning that the tracking and all the settings are the same for both the left and the right signals. So I'm not sure how to explain this better, but hopefully when you see what happens, it'll make more sense. So let's just get started. Here, I'm going to turn the tones on, and I have it nominally set at the tones are -10. When you combine those into the stereo bus, they get a little louder, but I pulled that back to where they're without the compressors in, they're -5 dB. Then I wanted to make it where when I inserted these, that the level did not change, but I still have compression set up to where when I increase the levels, the thresholds will be triggered and we will get gain reduction. I'm going to turn the tones down a little bit. It's kind of irritating. Anyway, so here, let me show you how this works. I'm just going to increase the volume on the left side until it breaks the threshold and starts compressing. And I liken this to if there's a loud tom hit on the left side, or a crash cymbal, or claps, or any other kind of transient material that triggers the compressor before other things would. Then it really does interact with both channels. And let me show you what happens. So here we go. Oh, well, sorry about that. My first mistake. Let me put the compressor in. How about that? So we're going to start with the fat channel. Here we go. There you go. Okay, see what happens when I, you know, when I pull the level down, it doesn't change the left side. But if I push it over the threshold, it reduces gain to where it doesn't, you know, it doesn't go up above a point. But look what happens to the right side. It gets sucked down. So I mean, this is a continuous tone, so obviously it's very dramatic here. And but uh, the transients and fast moving, you know, audio pieces would be more subtle, but it does make a difference, and it really does sound different when you have this problem going on. Mainly, you lose the width of your stereo imaging, you lose clarity, you lose transparency. That's the best way I can describe it. I don't know if I'm technically correct in how I'm describing all that, but that's what I hear. And this is not something I just happened on by my vast experience over the years. The early on in Nashville, when I moved here and started mixing for people and started getting some traction and got a lot of label projects and things like that, obviously we went and mastered them. And my favorite place to master was at Master Mix, and the engineer that I hit it off with and establish a mastering relationship with was Ken Love. And I'm sure he learned a lot from Hank Williams, who I respect immensely. But anyway, some of you may know those people. Some of you may have no idea who I'm talking about, but that's okay. But anyway, Ken, very early on in the projects that I was bringing to me, I had been putting compressors on the mix in the analog world. This is way before we were all digital, and he just showed. He said, "I want to show you what's happening with stereo compressors if you link them." And he kind of he did it actually with a mix and showed me the differences. And so, you know, I was see, I'm going to just play with it a little bit. But anyway, sorry, I'm a little ADD stuff there. But anyway, when he showed me that, it really changed my world and opened my eyes and my ears up to what was happening on the mixes. So I wanted to share this with you because I think because of the way we work now, we have all these tools and a million choices, and we put them on quickly, and a lot of times we don't think about what's going on when we slap this really cool digital representation of a piece of gear on the 2-mix. Let's look at some the way, you know, it has a little different character, but guess what? It's the same thing, right? I won't belabor this. I'll just verify that it does the same thing. Okay, let's go to the stock compressor. Now, the beef I have with these plugins is there's no way to unlink them in a stereo sense. I mean, there might be, but I haven't found it yet. If you know of a way to unlink an RComp, let me know. If you know of a way to unlink a stereo instance of a FET 1176, or some that do. Now I know in Pro Tools, you know, it was great that they allow you to instantiate a dual mono plug-in on a stereo track or a stereo mix bus, which is great. That's what I would recommend doing so that you can truly process your left and right mix in independent stereo, independent mono channels for your mix. So just to verify, the stock compressor, same problem. But do you know why this one has a problem? Is because when you turn this on, it's automatically stereo link, but they actually give us a stereo link button. Okay, I'm happy about that. So I can turn that off. Now you notice it changed the level a little bit. So I'm going to make up the gain just a bit. And then, okay, now let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. It's compressing. but the program material on the left is not affecting the right. Okay, I can still set, the attack, the attack and release and threshold and ratio and all that stuff. If I make changes there, it happens on both channels to the same, which technically, in dual mono mode, you can have control over all of that. I'm not sure you would need to go that far, but at least what this does is it you know changes where they're not cross talking with each other. I don't know if that's the right term, but that's what it appears to be happening with me. So, or appears to be happening for me. But anyway, let me link these or group these two channels and just play with this like it's stereo material. But you can see it pretty much tracks together. But I can promise you, if there were different material on each side, it would be hitting each channel of the compressor a little bit differently, and it would hit the thresholds differently, and they wouldn't walk all over each other. This is kind of how I describe it. Anyway, I hope that helps. Obviously this is my opinion and my way of doing things, but it may not work for you. That's okay. You may think I'm crazy. I don't really care, but anyway, but experiment with it. Do this test yourself. If you have a different plugin that you like, test it out and see if it actually does this or has a way to unlink itself. But man, I've found a lot of them, you're just out of luck. So I don't know. Anyway, that's all for now. Hope to do more of these, but maybe I'll get better at it as well. But anyway, let me turn this tone off. Anyway, thanks for watching, and thank you for following Tea Garden Audio. And if there are any questions, message me on the website, or all our contact information is on the website. So appreciate you watching. Bye bye.